I'll just share my screen. Cool. All right. So today's lesson is going to be on lists. So, first of all, okay, what are lists? A list in programming is a data structure that can store multiple items, which are typically related in some way, such as numbers, strings, or even other lists. Lists are ordered, meaning the items are stored in specific sequence, and each item can be accessed by its index. So here I'll show you a quick example. So you'd set the variable name as my list, then you'd write equals, you put square brackets, and you write each of these numbers. And this is an example of like a list that. So yeah, this has multiple items, all related because they are all integers, and the name of the list is my list. So here we will just have a quick practice problem. I want you to try out making a list. So I want you to create a character, like a list of 5 characters, being A, B, C, D, and E, and then print it out. And then yeah, so to print a list, you just type print and then your list name. It's pretty simple. Nothing like more complicated than printing a normal variable. So yeah, I will let you do that, and I'll just give you like 5-ish minutes. All right, cool. I think that should have been enough time for you guys to try that out. I will go over the answer now. So here, just to create the list, we just type the list name first, my list equals, we do our square brackets, and then we do each element of the list. So first we have A, then B, then C, then D, then E. And then in order to print the list, we just say print my list, just like I told you how to do over here. So that is how we print that list. Are there any questions on this, or can we move on? Awesome. In that case, we will move on to the next item in our lesson, which is list indexing. So each element or item in a list has an index, which is its position in the list. In most programming languages, including Python, the first element has an index of 0. Indexing allows you to access individual items in the list. So we'll go over this example. Here we have my list 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and my list 0 outputs 10, and then my list 2 outputs 30. So this might not make much sense, but this is a very important thing to remember. The list order starts at 0. So this will be the 10 here is index 0, the 20 is index 1, the 30 is index 2, the 40 is index 3, and the 50 is index 4. So even though there's 5 items, technically the indexes go up to 4 and start at 0. You have to remember this. If you don't remember anything from this lesson and there's only one takeaway you should take, it is this, because this is extremely, extremely important. Remembering list indexing is important for not only Python, but just all programming languages in general. And if you want to get into any intermediate, like any past beginner programming, you need to understand this concept. So I think it's very important that you understand that, and we're going to try a practice problem for it. So please make a list of strings consisting of your 5 favorite foods, and then print out the second and fifth items. Remember, here we printed out the first item by typing my list index 0. Okay, so I want you to print out the second and fifth items. So as a hint, they will not be index 2 and 5. All right, that should have been enough time to at least try that out. If you didn't get it, that's okay. We will just show the answer now. So here's how you create a list of your favorite foods. So you just write the favorite food's name equals, and then let's just say for me, like I put pizza, sushi, tacos, pasta, and then ice cream. Okay, so these are my 5 favorite foods. So to print the second item, I said print favorite foods and then index 1. And then for the fifth item, I did print favorite foods index 4. Because remember, the first item is index 0, second item is index 1, third item is index 2, fourth item is index 3, and the fifth item is index 4. The index number is always the item number minus 1. Like, I'm telling you, this is the most important concept you remember. It always starts at 0 and then goes up from there. I guarantee it. Like this is something that you like I said, if you don't remember anything else for today's lesson and this is the only thing you remember, that's at least relatively okay. Anyways, yeah, so this is very important. Nevertheless, we will continue on to the next section, modifying lists and list slicing. So you can extract a subset of the list using slicing by specifying a range of indices. So just to explain a little bit of what that is, here we have my list, the list name equals, and then we have the full list here. Um, List slicing will be like this. So let's say I only wanted to print the 3 of the items in this list. I only wanted to print the second, the third, and the fourth item. So what I would do is I would say print my list, then in square brackets, I would write the index of the item I wanted to start with. So remember, if this is index 0 and I want to start with the second item, I go to index 1. So we start with 1, then we do a colon, and then we do the index of the item after the last item we wanted to include. So it's kind of like an upper range barrier. We're saying we don't want you to hit this item. Go all the way up to this item, but do not cross this item. Do not include this item. So we say that we want index 4 for this. So that would be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that would be index 50. So what we're saying is we wanted to include 20, yes, 30, yes, 40, yes, 50, no, because we want it to always be less than index 4. So this would thereby print these 3 items. All right, so next up, I actually want you to try a problem. I'll just make it up actually right now. And then like I will explain how to solve it, like the answer after. But what I want you to do is I want you to essentially make a list of like 5 numbers, it can be any numbers, and then print just the last 3 items. It can be any numbers, just yeah, try and do that. And I'll give you about 5-ish minutes to do that. All right, I believe that should have been enough time to try this problem. So essentially, I'm gonna actually just type it out here because unfortunately I tried and VS Code's not working right now. But essentially, here's what you're gonna need to do. You just make a list, my list equals, and then you do your square brackets, and you type like 1, 3, 5, whatever, 7, 9, whatever 5 numbers you want to do. And then all you would do, sorry, you just type print my list, my list, square brackets. You want to type the last 3 items. So we're starting with item 0, 1, 2. And then we want to include all of these last 3 items. So we would go 2, 3, 4, and we go all the way up to 5. I know there isn't an item 5, but this is what you would do in order to print that out. Because that way it would include items 2, 3, and 4. So even though there isn't an item 5, you'd say there's a quote item 5 in order to make sure that it includes all of these. Or additionally, what you could do is you could leave this blank, saying it has no ending and it should just keep going until the list ends. You have those 2 options when it comes to this situation. So either one of those would work. I know that's a bit like interesting. Does anyone have any questions on that? Okay, cool. If not, we will continue on to, I believe, the last section of today's lesson. I know today was a bit of a short one, but that's okay. Like modifying lists, mutations. So lists are mutable. Well, what does that mean? That means you can like actually hand modify their elements. So for example, if you have a list here, my list 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, same list we've been working with all class. You could say my list 2. So that's this third element of your list. Remember 0, 1, 2. The 30 equals 35. So this actually changes this item in the list to 35. So if you print your whole list, like it says here, it'll output 10, 20, 35, 40, 50 instead of 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So essentially, that's how mutating lists is so easy. All you're doing is you're saying the item in the list you want to change equals the new value. And then that will change the value of that item to whatever you say it should be. So that's very simple. I'll just make you try this practice problem. It's actually a pretty long one, so I'm going to give you like, I think 8 or 9 minutes to try this. I want you to make a list of 8 Boolean values as follows. True, false, true, false, true, false. Then I want you to print out only the last 4 items. So I want you to only print out this true, false, true, false. Then I want you to change the last 2 elements from true to false or vice versa, and then print out the complete modified list. So what I want you to do here is I want you to change these 2 items, make this one true to false, make this one false to true. And then I want you to print out the full list after that, which should be modified. So this problem does have a few different aspects I want you to try and attack. I'll give you like 7 to 10 minutes roughly to try this out. If you guys want me to change to any slide, if you have any questions, just feel free to let me know. All right, so that should have been enough time to take a look at that problem. Now I'm going to show you the answer. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to create the Boolean list. We'll just name it bool list. And we'll say true, false, true, false, true, false, true, false, like I said originally. Then we're going to print the last 4 items. So remember the last 4 items. This would be items 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we'll start with item 4, and we're writing up to 8, because even though there isn't an index 8, we're saying that like that'll include index 4, 5, 6, and 7, which is the last 4 items. So that would print out true, false, true, false. Then we're going to change the last 2.
I completed.
Awesome. Love to hear that. So next up, we're going to change the second last item, which is true, and that would be at index 6, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll change that to false. And then the value of item 7, or the last item, we will change to true. Finally, we'll print out the whole bool list, just like this, and that'll print out the full list with this modified, and it would output true, false, true, false, true, false, false, true. That's what this would output, fulfilling every aspect of this question. Does anyone have any questions about this?
Nope.
Beautiful. If not, then we are done today's lesson. Unless anyone has any overall general questions, you are free to go.
Goodbye.
Bye.